Hi, this is Sports Betting Whale, and as many of you know, I'm one of the biggest and winningest sports bettors ever. Over the years, I've wagered hundreds of millions of dollars to maybe $1 billion on sports, and I've walked away winning tens of millions of dollars in profits. My next great mission now is to give away my winning picks to others just like you, so that I can help you share in my success and all my experience. For a one-time investment of only $49, I'm going to give you an entire year of premium access to my free picks. These are the same picks I've been betting on myself each day, and I often risk hundreds of thousands of dollars a week on these selections. So that's it. For $49, you can hire one of the winningest sports bettors of all time to do all the heavy lifting and dirty work for you. Every single day for the next year, I'm going to slave away, diving my head into the stat sheets to figure out the strongest possible selections and hand deliver to you my free personal picks using the same strategies, methods, and systems that have turned me into one of the most successful sports bettors ever. But first, let me tell you a little bit more about myself. It's important to get to know each other now because we're going to be sharing a very special relationship for the next year and maybe for many years to come. Besides, if you're going to be taking part in a process that could possibly create for you life-changing amounts of income out of almost thin air, isn't it important to be sure that you're following the advice of someone who's proven to be successful at his craft and actually cares about you winning? So here's my introduction. I am the Sports Betting Whale. Here's what you may already know. The typical sports bettor loses money when betting on sports, but not me. I don't just break the mold, I've shattered it. I've handcrafted my sports betting journey from scratch into a history that reads like a dynasty out of an epic novel. Since the 1990s, I have wagered hundreds of millions to billions of dollars on sports and walked away with over $30 million in winning profits. My legendary winning streaks cement my status among the pantheon of superstars as one of the biggest and most profitable sports bettors ever. Look on the screen and you'll see one of my betting tickets where I was just paid out $560,000 on one single bet alone. First, I'll make this clear. I'm not showing you pictures of my monstrous winnings because I want to bask in the limelight like some beached walrus in the sun. The truth is, it's hard to trust people on the internet. Bad apples are everywhere when you're dealing with sports handicappers whose goal is to make money off selling their picks instead of just betting on them. Finding a tout you can really trust, especially on the internet, feels about as rare as finding an eel that lets you hold it by the tail. So let's face it, proof of success is important in sports betting. I'm showing you proof of my winnings, not because I want to stick my neck out there and bask in the glow of attention. Actually, I'm the opposite personality. I do it because it's important for you to know that I'm real, that my success is authentic, and that my winnings are documented. Now, wouldn't it be nice for you to also share into this success? If you've never experienced it before, let me tell you, there's hardly any bigger thrills than the feeling of cashing your first big winning ticket. It's the one bet that changes everything. That's when you begin to realize that in front of you is literal proof that making money from betting on sports is not only possible, you're experiencing it. And from then on, the sky is really the limit. If you just win $50 or $100 from betting on sports, then you have the potential to actually win thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions. And then you realize that it's possible to win and win again every month, where you have this extra income from doing what you're doing anyways. Right now, as you watch this video, you're going to discover the winning ways from a grandmaster in sports handicapping. Keep in mind, I was not a tout. And I don't even consider myself a tout. What I'm doing is just letting you in on the same betting strategies, methods, and picks that helped me make millions over the years. So here's an actual story printed in the very respected Las Vegas Review-Journal documenting the tail end of my historic run where I took $500 and turned it into $630,000 just hours later. You'll see it here on the screen. I'm not plastering newspaper articles about me just to poke some ash and stir up the dust of old memories. The truth is, you deserve to know when you're dealing with me, you're not just dealing with someone that's been on a hot streak for 2 weeks who can talk a big game. In the 1990s, I was probably the biggest sports bettor in Nevada and possibly all of the United States. In 1995 alone, when I was allowed to bet at maximum limits to Mirage, I won over $10 million, all while our sports directors helplessly watched as millions and millions of their fortunes evaporated into thin air. I did it again at Pinnacle in the early 2000s, where I took $50,000 as an opening deposit and turned it into over $4 million in 4 days. What was also very amazing about that was I won at least $1 million a day for 4 days in a row. My meteoric rise has been the envy of others who lacked the guts and pattern recognition to pull this off. These days, the sports books have wisened up, and they basically have kind of changed how they do things anyways. And so my betting limits have really been limited. For me to go on a multi-million-dollar run in a sports book now is almost impossible. They just won't allow it. They'll stop me before it gets too far, unless I'm willing to go in and bet millions of dollars in the casino, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If they were allowing me to bet where I could win $5 or $10 million and wouldn't stop me, I'd go throw $1 million or $2 million at the casino to be able to do that. But other than that, there's no sports book in Las Vegas these days that allow me to bet anything near what I was able to bet in the 1990s at the Mirage, or what I was able to bet before Pinnacle got shut down. Now, because of these facts, what am I going to do? Am I going to go ahead and just say, well, I'm just going to bet smaller for the rest of my life and that's it? That's one option. The other option is to allow others to share and benefit from the same picks using the same systems that have made me well over $30 million over the years, all from betting on sports. So that has led to a concept I'm very excited to introduce to you, the Sports Betting Whale 365 Premium Membership. For a one-time payment of only $49, you can lock in your own access to a full sampler of my free picks for the next 365 days. Yes, you're going to get an entire year's worth of my complimentary picks, all yours for $49. It's a small one-time payment for the entire year picks, for the same price as you would normally pay for 1 day of picks at a handicapping service. I'm delivering to you these picks every single day for 365 days, so you can follow along and see for yourself what it's like to tail one of the biggest and winningest sports bettors ever. Plus, you're going to receive a signed copy of my book mailed to you for free. The Autobiography of the Sports Betting Whale, How I Made Over $30 Million from Betting on Sports. I'll even pay for the shipping. Now, I have a confession to make. While it sure was fun for me to win tens of millions of dollars over the last 30 to 40 years betting on sports, my most important win was probably my smallest one. Honestly, winning my first bet was likely the most crucial wager I ever placed. Here's where I finally started moving the one first small piece of rock that would eventually let loose an avalanche of 1,000-pound boulders coming from the mountain. Winning my first ticket was what led me to eventually win tens of millions of dollars over my sports career. And I used that money in very good ways too. I used that income to start quite a few companies and to help a lot of people out. So now, my next great mission is to help you to achieve your financial dreams by making it as easy as I possibly can to help you make that extra income you've always been looking for. In the next 3 minutes, I'm going to personally reveal to you the same exact methods that have helped me generate thousands, hundreds of thousands, and sometimes millions like clockwork in my last 30 plus years of betting on sport. So pay close attention, because the only place you'll find this information is right here and right now in this free video presentation. You're probably very aware how tough it is for the average person to consistently pick out winners and to profit over the long term in sports. The lights in the casinos on around the clock because the majority of the gamblers are winning. To go against the sportsbooks yourself is like heading into a battle as a centipede with 98 missing legs. So without the right knowledge, you can't win. Not in the long run. You can only try for so long before realizing that picking out winners on your own is harder than nails, and following other so-called handicappers' picks seem no better than blindly chucking darts at a board. You want to win money betting on sports? I get it. But chances are you haven't. Not for any extended period of time. You probably dreamed of what it's like to win big. But for most people, the reality is more like a nightmare where you ran and ran but never gained any ground. And the harder you tried, the slower you moved. Betting on your own without help is no better than giving the bookies money on an installment plan. The good news is, if you're not winning, it's really not your fault. You just haven't had the right information you haven't gone through all the trial and error that I have. You haven't learned the proper bankroll systems and how to take advantage of hot runs. And most importantly, you probably haven't been following a real sports betting professional with a proven track record of winning success. So stop beating your head against the wall. Try to uncover a solution to winning on bets. If you're sick and tired of fiddling around with techniques that hit and then don't hit and you might win a little bit of money, it's time to let me hold you by the hand and take you down a path towards sports betting wealth and success. So you might be wondering, what kind of credentials do I have and why am I qualified to give you advice on who to bet on in sports? Well, let's just summarize some of the things we've discussed before and take a look at some of the accolades over the years. I was probably the largest sports bettor in Nevada, possibly the United States in the 1990s. Many sportsbooks in Nevada no longer will accept my high return bets due to their fear of loss. Others have placed severe limits on the amounts that I can bet and stop me when I get on a hot run. Over my lifetime, I've wagered well over $500 million on sports, a figure that would likely be into the multiple billions if the sports books would have allowed it. I have an IQ test in the genius level when it comes to pattern recognition. Very good at understanding patterns and catching them and riding the waves. I turned a less than $1,000 bankroll into tens of millions of dollars from betting on sports at a young age. In the 1995 year alone, the sportsbook, the Mirage, was the largest sportsbook in Nevada. And that year, the Mirage took in approximately $150 million in sports betting action. Of that, I was close to half of it, just me alone. My wagers alone accounted for almost half of the action in the largest sportsbook in 1995 and probably around a third of the combined actions of all Las Vegas sportsbooks. I typically was known to wager millions of dollars on sports in a single weekend. A major sportsbook director, one of the largest sportsbooks in Las Vegas, has called me the best sports handicapper he's ever seen. I took $500 and turned it into $630,000 in one day of bets at the Mirage, and then turned around and ran that into millions. So I've done the $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 into hundreds of thousands or millions many, many times. I opened an account at Pinnacle Sportsbook about 15 years ago, and in a span of 4 days I turned my $50,000 balance into a $4 million bankroll, winning at least $1 million a day for 4 consecutive days and hitting 92 out of 100 bets. Obviously that's extraordinarily high winning percentage, and it's not something that's repeated very often, but look how I ran it into such a large amount of money so quickly. Wouldn't it be nice if you can follow along on the same picks that one of the most successful sports bettors ever is taking for himself? Now you finally can with the Sports Betting Whale 365 Premium Membership. For just a one-time investment of $49, I'm going to deliver to you my picks for the next 365 days. These are the same picks that I'm typically betting on myself for hundreds of thousands of dollars each week. You'll get an array of different selections across all major sports, including straight picks, parlays, round robins, teasers, the list goes on. Every single day, I'm going to send you at least one pick that I'm taking myself that day. And I'll do this for the next 365 days, so you can see for yourself my long-term performance. Plus, order today and I'll send you a personally signed copy of my book for free, The Autobiography of the Sports Betting Whale, How I Made Over $30 Million from Betting on Sports. Others are paying $24.95 right now just to get each digital copy on Amazon. I'm going to mail you a physical copy to your address with my own personal signature on the book for free with your 1-year membership to my picks in the Sports Betting Whale 365 Premium Membership. You can get all that today along with my 100% satisfaction guarantee for just a one-time investment of $49. Sports betting is getting more popularized across the world as we speak. I believe that now is the greatest time in history to create real wealth for yourself from betting on sports. Plus, it's a lifestyle you definitely are going to enjoy. There's no snooze button to hit, no hours of menial work sitting inside an office, no boss to report to. You can make it possible from professionally betting on sports. It's the same system I personally used to win millions over the years. But you need to know how. So I'm going to give you the same picks using the same systems and methods I personally use to win millions of dollars over the years. But I know what you're thinking. There's a voice in your head right now that may say, yeah, that's easy for you to say. But how do I get started when I have no experience, very little money, and no clue? The truth is, you don't need much of anything to get started. 30 years ago, I had a replenishable bankroll of just $1,000, sometimes less in my hands, and ended up walking away with $30 million many years later. My first run was under $1,000 was the seed money that started it, and it turned into millions. Sounds crazy? Because you probably never heard of it before, and I don't know anybody in the world that's used this approach and has taken a small amount of money and made a lot of money. Back when I could accelerate and bet any amount I wanted, winning was easy and sometimes didn't even really feel real. But when hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in chips were finally stacked in my hands after going to the ticket window to cash out my winning tickets, I really was very thrilled, especially at the beginning. This money was enough for me to buy new cars, houses, invest in businesses, and I was still only in my early 20s. At a time when many of my peers were still struggling to get by in college, I had already made my first $1 million, all from betting on sports. And I was only just getting started. Over the next several years, my fortunes exploded. I would go on to win tens of millions of dollars. So when it comes to betting on sports, you can rest assured that I know what I'm talking about. Imagine what could happen to your financial life had you been tailing me during one of my patented hot runs. Suddenly you're getting out of bed, rushing to your laptop, eager to check the scores of the games and what's coming next. You're so excited and inspired because following my picks have generated you success that you've never had before. But let's not think too far ahead yet. Right now, you're probably just wanting to make a few extra bucks. I get it. I was in that position too. For many people, the idea of making hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars from betting on sports seems and feels a little bit too far-fetched and unrealistic. So before you shoot for the moon, it's more important for you to just focus on getting started. Remember, my most important wins were my first ones. These initial wins were like the original dominoes that tipped over and quickly sparked a multi-million-dollar chain reaction. And now, I want to help you share into my success. That's why I created the Sports Betting Whale 365 Premium Membership to help you pull in your first crucial wins fast. That's the key. The initial wins are critical because those are the ones that lead to eventual fortunes. I didn't start off winning millions from the get-go. I started with under $1,000 in my hands. Before I know it, I had 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, and eventually millions. But the initial wins were the most important because they laid the groundwork towards the millions of dollars to come. The first wins can change your life. Now in front of you is an opportunity that can help you do just that. So don't think too far ahead yet. While it's all possible to win an absolute fortune from betting on sports, the main key for you right now is just to take your first step forward and reel in your first wins. That's it. You can't win the big one without winning the first one. The Super Bowl winner or NBA champion didn't start off hoisting their trophies right out of the gate. Every major winner always started their journey with their first initial win. Right now is your opportunity to lock hands with me and let me help you reel in your first wins fast. And from then on, the sky's really the limit. I want to share my expertise with you. And in the next few minutes, everything's going to become a whole lot easier for you than ever before. I'm going to take you by the hand and walk every step of the way from a total newcomer to what could be your sweeping success story, all from betting on sports. So why is it important for you to follow a successful professional sports bettor? You see, the tout business has a lot of fancy personalities out there trying to reel you in with their wits and charm. But how exactly does any of that really relate to winning? When your hard-earned money is on the line, wouldn't you want to follow along with what matters most, a proven winner? Well, there's a big difference between following some tout that made a pile of money from selling memberships and pick packages versus me, who's actually made tens of millions of dollars in profits from betting on my own picks. Now it's easier than ever to get started making money from betting on sports. And you can do it all even if you're totally new to betting or have no knowledge of betting on sports, or even if you're a veteran gambler and all that you've seen in the past are big fat losses. By the end of this video, you're going to have everything you need to help you to start winning. I'm finally opening the doors so that anyone can get started, make money as I'm making money as early as tonight. There's virtually nothing that can stop you. There's no previous knowledge needed. It doesn't matter if you've ever wagered on sports or handicapped a game in your life. In fact, if you've never wagered on sports before, then you have quite a pretty distinct advantage. That's because you get to skip over all the common mistakes that other bettors do when they first start out, and you can begin your journey like a seasoned pro. You already have almost everything you need right now to get started, and I'm going to share with you the final missing piece of that puzzle right at the end of this presentation. Of course, you can try to figure it out all by yourself. There are literally hundreds of handicappers and touts on the internet gladly willing to sell you their pick. But doesn't it make sense to get the lowdown on how to win from one of the biggest and most successful sports bettors in history that actually is betting every single day using these methods and approaches, putting his money where his mouth is? So who should you really trust when finding a sports handicapper to follow? The tout that screams the loudest, or the professional sports bettor who actually has won tens of millions of dollars and bets millions of dollars a month on a regular basis with the same systems and the picks that you're receiving through this course? I think the choice is easy. Now is your golden opportunity to gain access to a full year of my picks for just $49. You're going to get picks sent to your email every single day from someone who's among the most qualified to do it. I'm not your typical run-of-the-mill sports handicapper, or I even like the word tout. I'm a true professional sports bettor who has actually won millions. And now I'm finally opening the doors to my Sports Betting Whale 365 premium membership so you can finally lock in your access to my picks every single day for the next 365 days, all for just a one-time investment of $49. That's about pennies a day to get picks from a legendary professional sports bettor who's entrenched among the list of biggest sports betting winners of all time. Why am I making my picks so affordable? Why am I willing to work for you for the next 365 days for just $49? Because the more that's revealed about what I'm doing in the future, you're going to see that all of the projects I'm working on are projects that help people. This one helps you financially, gives you some more financial freedom. I really, truly care about helping people. The last third, quarter, 10%, God only knows how long I'm going to be on the earth. I plan on spending helping people in every way that I can. I'll keep you constantly up to speed on my latest strategies and what I'm doing so that it can help you to win the most amount of money betting on sports. I've designed a clear path for you towards success. All you have to do now is just join hands and walk with me and let me show you how to do it. I care about your success in many different ways. I don't know you yet personally, but eventually we may. But through what I'm teaching you, you become part of my collective family, and everything that you succeed with brings me joy. Now, that's not just some feel-good cliche that happens to roll well off my tongue and make you feel more reassured. It's really true. I go out and I bet my own money, hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars, on the same picks I'm sharing with you. I've used these strategies for a long time that I've been teaching, and I continue to use them. So the only way that I win is when you win. So with that said, walk hand in hand with me today. Imagine what it's like when you tell me during one of my hot winning streaks where it seems like I cannot lose. Games aren't even close. You're yawning because there's nothing to sweat. Imagine the thrill of checking your results and seeing just how much you've gone up on your bankroll every day. This is the reality. I get on hot streaks all the time, and they last for 3 to 10 days, and we win a lot of money during those streaks. And when we're not hot, we cut back, cut back, cut back. I'll show you exactly how to do that. I'll show you exactly what teams I'm betting on every single day as my top pick, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you who to bet on and how much to bet on. There's no room left for confusion. So from this point on, making money from betting on sports can finally become a reality to you. I try to imagine what can make you the most amount of money in the shortest time with the least amount of hassle. I think I've delivered it for you here on a silver platter in the Sports Betting Whales 365 Premium Membership. Even if you tried your hands at betting before and failed, or if you're in a total greenie who's never placed a bet in your life, this system will work for you. Every day is a brand new opportunity to increase your wealth potential. And remember, I've already followed this path and my success truly speaks for itself. Before you get started, let me tell you what this program is not. This is not some magic push button that promises to pour avalanches of cash in your pockets every day of the week without fail. The truth is, sports can sometimes be unpredictable. Think about it. Think about all the things that can make it unpredictable. So can I guarantee that you'll make the same amount of money the same way I've been betting on sports? Of course not. No one can 100% read the exact future when it comes to betting. Know that when betting on sports, you have to also be prepared for the possibility of loss. It is a risk. It happens. What I can tell you is that these are the same picks and methods that have led me to become one of the most profitable sports bettors of all times. And to this day, I continue to bet hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars on my picks. Common sense will tell you that unless I'm convinced that what I do works, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't continue it. My family, my friends, my business associates would never allow me to continue to do this. I know the value of money, and I would not continue throwing good money after bad. The fact that I bet up to millions of dollars each month on my picks is all the proof you need to know just how convinced I am that what I do always ends up working. Since you spent the time to watch my video presentation this far, then I know that you're ready for something real. Something that actually works. The Sports Betting Whale 365 membership program is very real and very doable for you. It's all based on the same methods, systems, and picks that have helped me win millions of dollars over the years. You have the upper hand and truly an unfair advantage right now because you have with me all of this experience by your side. I didn't have that kind of luxury when I started on my way to winning tens of millions of dollars from betting on sports. So if I could win on my own by myself, then it's 10 times easier for you when you have me by your side guiding you along the same path and watching for the pitfalls. You'll never have to go it alone because you're part of my team. I won't let you go alone. I won't let that happen. Today I'm looking for success seekers. It's time to give yourself a real opportunity to build profits from betting on sports. I want you to become a part of the whale movement. I want you on my team. I want you on the whale team, the winning team. So join hands with me today and let's win together. Just click the button below to get started. Now, let me clear something up. You may be wondering, isn't it true that most gamblers lose money? The famous saying goes, the house always wins, right? And if so, how is sports betting any different? Well, the truth is, sports betting is one of those rare games where a smart player can gain a serious edge over the house. Poker and sports are the two skill games where the casinos are just the middleman, just trying to divide up the players and take a rake. So a lot of money's made betting sports if you know what you're doing. A lot of money's won betting poker if you know what you're doing. Sports betting is a game where a master pattern recognizer like me can spot trends and identify the patterns that can lead to monstrous winning streaks. That, tied with the money management system that I'll be teaching you, allows you to work off house money very quickly and hopefully for a long period of time. So join me today in the Sports Betting Whales 365 premium membership, and I'll share with you the same picks using the same betting systems, methods, and strategies that I've personally used to clobber the sportsbooks and reel in tens of millions of dollars in winnings over the years. You know, I've suffered through decades of trial and tribulation, so you don't have to. Now let me share with you my winning ways so you can just take the shortcut to the finish line. And no, there aren't just some sports handicapping strategies that I've dreamed up in theory. For 30 years, I've gone through fire and water to run these strategies through the gauntlet, and I ended up winning tens of millions of dollars from using these techniques and picks myself. They've also been back tested for many years. So I'm not bringing you anything that is just a theory. I'm bringing you concepts and systems that have panned out for me over 30 years, and you can back test and see for yourself. So wouldn't it be nice if you can start copying these betting strategies for yourself? And wouldn't it be nice if you can take the same exact picks that I've been taking each day and profit from them with me? So join forces with me now in the Sports Betting Whale 365 premium membership. For just $49, you'll get my picks sent to your email address for the next entire year. That's 365 days of my picks for just a one-time payment of $49. And that's not all yet. Not only will I share with you my picks, but I'm also going to share you my actual betting tickets. To this day, even with all of the limitations and restrictions the sportsbooks place on me, I still go out and bet up to millions of dollars a month on my picks. With your membership to the Sports Betting Whales 365 program, you're going to gain access to my private members area where I'll reveal to you my actual betting tickets every single day. I'm often betting hundreds of thousands of dollars each week on these picks. It's the easiest way for you to start following along and winning as I'm winning. Plus, you'll also get a signed copy of my book for free, mailed to your address. I'll even take care of the shipping. So join hands with me today and you gain front row seats into my Sports Betting Whale 365 premium membership. You'll get my picks for the next 365 days, all for an incredibly low, affordable, one-time only investment of just $49. I'll deliver my picks to you for the next full year. Let me ask you a question. Imagine where you would be by this time next year if you were to follow my picks every day and absorb all of my inside knowledge to winning on your bets. How much is it worth it to be able to wake up every single day feeling inspired? Imagine how your life can be if you have access to extra money that you haven't had before. Start picturing the kind of life you want to live because it's going to be within your reach once you win big from betting on sports. The truth is, unless you take your first step now, your future years from now aren't going to be much different than the days before it. It's your responsibility to change that right now. It all starts right here and right now. To win, you must first begin. And right now is your opportunity to start winning with one of the biggest winners ever. So you've already seen now for yourself the astronomical winnings that I have amassed from my decades of betting on sports. But what is it about me that makes me so different? You see, from a young age, I've been blessed with an uncanny ability to recognize patterns. Studying patterns was my retreat into my own little safe haven where I was at peace and at home. I loved math equations. I loved pattern recognition. Loved to play chess. Loved games of skill. I wasn't as excited about the games of chance as a lot of other people were. I liked the games of skill. As early as 13 years old, it dawned on me that the patterns I was looking at could form and be tested in sports. While the other boys in school were busy playing normal teenage games and having that kind of a lifestyle, I was more of a nerd. I was spending my hours learning, isolating, and analyzing patterns in sports. When I studied patterns, I'd feel really connected to something that was exciting for me because not only are you able to analyze it to come up with what you think will happen, then you see what the actual results are, and you keep adjusting and keep adjusting and keep adjusting until you fine-tune and hone in on the best approaches possible. Now, while my pattern recognition excellence wasn't exactly a hit with the ladies, it sure made me popular with the adults who wanted to win. By the time I was 13, 14 years old, I had people asking me for my sports picks on a regular basis, and they were winning money off them. So even though I wasn't betting myself, I've been involved in handicapping and sports betting recognition since I was 13 years old. I started betting on sports when it was legal to when I was 21, and what has followed has become one of the greatest winning runs in history of sports. In my earliest years of betting on sports, I'd already installed some fear in the books. Once I get on a run, I was known to wreck the smaller sports books' profits for the entire year in a weekend. And when I found private bookies to work with, they would gladly take my bets and my money. But when they'd end up owing me $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 after 1 week of action, this number has been disconnected. I rarely received any of the money. So it was important to me that I was able to bet with casinos or like Pinnacle or something at the time that had the ability to pay, because I don't bet like anyone else, and I can start with low amounts and win big quick. I remember the Bally's Casino. I didn't realize how unusual I was when I was in the early 20s. I went in and I got used to winning $10, $20, $30, $50, $100,000 on a ticket. I guess that's just not that common for people to take small amounts of money and run it up as fast as I was doing. My first real experience was at the Bally's Casino, where I came in and and beat them. And the sportsbook director told me that they were going to change the name of the casino to my name because I'm basically going to own it if I kept betting like that. And I said, well, that's no big, I think I beat him for $125,000 or something. And then I said, that's not that big a deal. I mean, you guys are Bally's. And they go, you don't realize what we make in the course of a season or a year. You're about to wipe us out for our entire profit for the entire year. You already wiped us out for a season in a weekend. And I'm like, oh, I'm serious. I didn't know. I didn't realize that that was that big of a deal. I went to a couple of the private, back then they had private sports books too, and I won 125, 150,000 on a couple round robins. And one of them closed. They closed the next week. At least I got paid. Broken pieces of that winning run still are scattered all over the place like a wreckage of a plane crash. So to me, I didn't think it was a big deal, but it certainly became a big deal to others. My fame spread throughout Las Vegas like a virus pretty quick, and pushing a lot of the sports books to the point where they certainly did not want any of my action. One of the things I did is I bet these round robin combination parlays where the computer system didn't even realize how much exposure they had on them if all the games hit. And I get on a hot run, it's like taking candy from a baby. But one of the things I remember was after going on a big run at some other places, I went over to Caesars. And Caesars Palace was still is, it's one of the biggest casinos around. And I went up to bet one of my combination tickets, and they broke the news to me that my limits were going to be $100. And like $100 a parlay, and they no, $100 total. And that I said, well, why? And they said, we already heard of what you've done around town, and we don't want the same thing to happen to us. And so that's what led to one of their sportsbook writers telling me about Steve Wynn's Mirage, which was recently opened, and that they have a take it all policy. They'll take any amount of action that I would want to put up. So Binion's was doing a lot back then too, but I wasn't as fond of going downtown and dealing with Binion's crowd downtown. The Mirage was a beautiful place and definitely more my style. So when I arrived at the window at the Mirage Sportsbook, I asked them what their betting limits were, and their response was minimum $5. And I said, okay. I said, no, I'm more interested in what are your upper limits. To my surprise, the response was, I've never seen him refuse a bet. Wow. I stood there staring at the sportsbook like Copernicus finally discovering the true place of Earth in the cosmos. In one swift moment, my mind lit up like a pinball machine. My face suddenly took on the expression of a teenage boy handed the keys to a brand new Mercedes on his 16th birthday. I instantly realized this was my chance. This was my opening. Like a quarterback finally seeing the hole of an opponent's defense. Here was my chance to jump shift and movement towards huge winning success. My blood was so thrilled with hope and possibility that I couldn't hold back a grin. After placing my first big betting ticket at the Mirage Sportsbook, I smiled like a vulture with the first option to a fresh kill. Hours later, I had turned a small amount of money into over $90,000. I think it was $92,000, like $310 or something. Normally, that's going to send up sirens in 15, 20 minutes waiting for approvals and then waiting for the money to show up from the cage or whatever they're going to do. And I went up to this one lady and gave her the ticket, and she says, are you going to be betting against it? And I said, no, not right now, because it was at nighttime. She said, okay, you want chips or cash? And I said, it pays over $90,000. She says, chips or cash? And I said, okay, cash. And thinking, all right, might as well go pull up a lazy boy and relax for a while, because it's going to be at least 20 minutes before they get me the money. And she started pulling out the $10,000 straps of $100 bills. And I said, you have that much money right here in your drawer? She said, yeah. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, you can't even imagine what you have to go through back then at a normal sports book, if they would ever let you bet enough to win $90,000 on the ticket. You'd have supervisors, the casino manager, I mean, everybody looking at you like you just robbed the place. And here is this little old lady. She's like, here you go. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I was looking at the winnings, not that $90,000 was that exciting. It was exciting to me that they would take one ticket that paid 90, and I didn't have to go and get supervisor approval and wait and everything else. It was like routine for them. And I felt like, my goodness. So right in front of me was an opportunity. I knew with my systems I was going to make a life-changing amount of money betting on sports at the Mirage. This was the moment that I realized I could consistently win in the millions. Later I found out what it required for me to be able to continue to bet at that level, and I complied. There's a lot of playing craps, a lot of playing blackjack, and the time my wife was betting the high limit slots, they loved that. Of course, that was just money right down the drain, but that was just cost of doing business to be able to bet in the sports book the way I wanted. And also, too, I think one point I was getting like $50,000 to $100,000 a month in comps. So anybody that knew me at that time, you could have a 2-bedroom suite comped and anything you wanted, shows, food, etc. at the Mirage. So I had a lot of friends, as you can imagine. So the rest was history. In an instant, I had really springboarded into the big leagues of sports betting and was able to bet and win millions of dollars routinely. So I went on to drain the sports book out of tens of millions of dollars from my wagers over the next years before that all came to an end. See how this was just a kind of a standard bet for me, but this was a preseason bet where I got paid back $154,000. So when I was betting, little did I know that the Mirage properties were turning around and creating ad campaigns promoting the fact that I'd won all that money off these tickets. Here's another wager where I won over $500,000 in one ticket. That's quite a bit of money for one ticket, and no sports book around is going to take this kind of action unless you're a huge whale in the casinos, which again, I'm not willing to do that anymore. My next big opportunity to wager at maximum limits came in the early 2000s with Pinnacle. I deposited $50,000, started placing my wagers. Amazing how high of the limits that they would take and let you keep betting back and back and back, sometimes without even moving the line. So 4 days later, after a series of round-robin, straight, and halftime bets, I ended up winning over $4 million. The minimum I won per day in 4 days, each day was $1 million. Over my lifetime, I won tens of millions of dollars of betting on sports. I've continued to win year after year with my whiz-bang system, zigging when the rest of the average bettors were zagging. And also, too, you'll see a lot of my picks go against what the touts are promoting out there. So now, let me teach you these methods. Let me teach you the exact methods and techniques I've used from being a small jester in the king's court to building an estate of everyone's envy. So you see, I didn't just stare at success with the eye of an eagle. I took it into my own hands to create it. I've spent my whole life piecing together the winning formulas to bet on sports, scratching my way up from the bottom rung of the ladder to become one of the biggest and winningest sports bettors in history. Join hands with me today and help you ascend to a higher plane of sports betting prosperity. You'll discover the sizzling methods and strategies I personally use day in and day out to successfully pile drive some of these sports books into the dust. So if you're sick and tired of playing guessing games, then the time is now to join forces with me and save yourself from all this mental gymnastics. Step forward today to the Sports Betting Whales 365 Premium Membership, and you can finally discover my devastating methods to let loose the dogs of war against your sports books and begin banking in the winnings that you deserve to have a more financially prosperous life. Let me, one of the biggest and most profitable sports bettors ever, share with you my picks every single day for the next year. That's 365 days of my picks. The same picks that I'm often betting on by the hundreds of thousands of dollars each week. All you have to do is just follow along and you can start winning as I'm winning for the next whole year. All for just a one-time payment today of just $49. Couldn't you just figure out the winning secrets to bet on sports on your own? Well, go ahead and try. You might keep running up that mountain, smug and sure of yourself, only to keep skidding down the other side sometimes face first into the dirt. It's not what I want for you. Sports handicapping is like a jigsaw puzzle thrown on the floor with most of the pieces missing, and you probably have about as much chance to piece together that entire puzzle as you would finding birth control pills at a Catholic church. I know this because for 30 years I've studied sports until my brain felt as if it's a truck tire inflated 10 times past its limit. So stop scrambling around like a disciple searching for your Messiah for the solution to winning on sports. Your answer to your prayers may just be right in front of you, waving its arms and shouting your name. Today, you can lock in your access to the Sports Betting Whale 365 premium membership for just $49 and start receiving a year's worth of my picks. So if you're sick and tired of trying El Cheapo tactics to make small beans, then it's time to mount your wild horse and begin thundering westward on the ride of your lifetime. And I'll help you tear down the metaphoric wall dividing you from your grandest winning visions. I've used the same techniques for myself for 30 years and have had a wonderful stream of extra income from it. Now I'm extending my hand out to finally grant you access to the pearls of my wisdom so you too can capitalize on my thriving knowledge and carve your own initials into the winning pie. I want you to be blessed by this. I want you to live a more prosperous life. I want you to be more financially free. I want you to take those vacations you've always wanted to take. I want you to be able to sit back, relax, and follow on with my top picks that I'm sharing every day and benefit from them. I want you to say, adios, muchachos, to your past of losses, beginning to take your future by the reins. Jumpstart your grand vision to become the winner you've always dreamed about. Quite simply, I want you to succeed. I've already lived a life of luxury from the tens of millions that I've won over the decades. My next big mission is to pass the torch to you so that you can take command of your own financial destiny and use these winning methods, systems, and ways to make a big financial difference in your life. So now, you may be wondering, how much money are you going to win from using my handicapping techniques or from betting along on my hot picks each day? Look, I can't peer into the crystal ball and predict the exact future. Simply put, nobody can ever make 100% guarantees on what your results will be when it comes to betting on sports or stock market or real estate ventures or starting a business or anything you're going to do. There's a lot of factors. What I can tell you is that these are the techniques, methods, and picks that I've used for 30 years and have won tens of millions of dollars using them. $4 million in 4 days alone. I have successfully taken relatively small amounts of replenishable money and ran them up to over 100,000, sometimes over $1 million, hundreds of times in my career. You're going to see them with your own eyes. You see me do it again. Just recently did it. To this day, I continue to wager up to millions of dollars each month using the same picks and handicapping methods I'm sharing with you. Common sense will tell you that unless I'm convinced about winning, I wouldn't be doing this. Now let me teach you my ways so you can ride along with me and experience the joy of winning for yourself. I want to help you because I know that sports handicapping isn't as easy as beer and Skittles. To figure out the right formula and the winning picks on your own is like trying to figure out how to put a smoke ring into your pocket. So why bother roughing and tumbling around using the same old rehashed betting techniques that every Tom, Dick, and Harry have tried and failed? Does that make any sense? Follow a winner. Follow someone that puts their own money where their mouth is and has been successful doing it. The tough part about failing is that it's human nature to want to succeed. So if you're losing, your automatic response is not to just hold up your hands and surrender. You're going to chase after those losses and try to recoup your way back into profits, right? The problem is, all you're doing is just stepping right back into the snake pit of risk. If you're not winning to begin with, then why on earth would you want to come back for more using the same old carnival game techniques that got you there in the first place? There's an old Chinese proverb that says, no matter how far you've gone down the wrong path, turn around. Here's an opportunity to go down a different path. The truth is, you can't just continue chasing a rainbow like a happy-go-lucky child of nature without a serious plan and system on how to win. The more you do to try to reverse the damage, the more it'll become apparent all you're doing is throwing more gasoline into the fire. What you need is someone like myself who's had a lifetime of winning millions from betting on sports to finally show you the ropes. The Sports Betting Whales 365 Premium membership lets you gain access to my picks every single day for the next year. all for just a one-time investment of just $49. I've already experienced the thrill of winning for 30 years. At times, I've won so much money, it stopped even giving me any thrill or joy. So my thrill and joy now is to share my knowledge with you. I want you to be able to have a better financial career and financial life. If this is something you're going to do full-time, part-time, on the side, it works. The sheer thought of seeing other players paying for losing picks from so-called gurus with much flexing but no muscles really is disturbing to me. I want to change this industry. I want people who are in the tout business, sports handicapping information business, show your tickets. Show that you're betting on them. Show a track record. Don't hide when you lose. Show it. And explain why. You know, like right now, some of the times I'll take teams that have been red hot, and you want to run with the red hot teams. But red hot teams get cold too. And I'll catch that pattern. But we're going to lose when the red hot team's pattern breaks. But we've made a lot of money in the process. So the bounce patterns come and go. The home road advantages come and go. When teams have players changes, impacts them, but then that impact wears out because the spread changes to account for that. It's always a constant flow of pattern recognition. And I tell you what, unless someone really knows how to do this, they're not going to succeed at it in the long run. If they don't know how to manage their money, they're not going to succeed. They might break even. That's kind of all they could ask for. But why do you want to break even for? And why would you pay to break even? That doesn't make any sense. Really, I'm tired of seeing gullible people get suckered. What separates me from the people that don't care is that I do care. I really want you to win. And if you're not winning, I'm getting crushed. So you got someone that's putting their own money way more than almost anyone else is on the same picks. I want to help you so you don't get burned by the typical touts that are all smoke but no fire. You know, following the wrong advice can really hurt you in anything, but following the wrong advice when it comes to sports, dealing with someone who doesn't care about you, that doesn't back up what they say, doesn't have a guarantee, doesn't bet them themselves, why do that? And if I can get a lot of people following a system that works, and following someone that's betting their own money on the same picks, then good. I've taken some people out of a minefield that's just going to continue to cause problems for them and move them into a direction where they can have winning, profitable futures. So I'm not going to be the guy that screams the loudest and pounds the table the hardest. I'm the guy that's actually won a lot of money doing what I'm going to recommend that you do, and I continue to bet a lot of money on the same picks that I'm giving you. So the choice is real easy. So I open my doors and invite you now to join the Sports Betting Whale 365 Premium membership so I can start sharing my picks with you for the next year, and I'll do it for just $49. I'm making the price as affordable as imaginable because I don't want to see you get eaten by the sharks in the sea. I want to see you win. Most typical touts all sing the same story, just different verses. Many are still relying on outdated techniques, even if they do any handicapping. We're trying to bring some transparency and some integrity to an industry that definitely needs it. So let's join together and let's start singing off a different sheet and using a different tune. I'm a figure that's really entrenched in sports betting. I won a lot of money. I want to pass on that knowledge to you. I've seen the joy of winning thousands of times. Now it's going to be more fun for you to win. I can tell you now, since I've been giving out my picks to others, I'm more concerned and interested in the fact that you're winning, that my clients are winning, than me, my own self. Because I know that in the end I win. And I know that I'm just investing in what's going to end up being the next big hot run where I pull out hundreds of thousands of dollars. But you, sometimes the people that are with me, haven't experienced that yet. So I want you to know that I do care about you, and I really believe that if you stick with this, you're going to win. We'll work together on how to manage the money so that you can stay in the game until the hot streaks occur. I'm a proven winner when it comes to this stuff. I care. I put my money where my mouth is, and I want to teach you how to be able to make money betting sports. It's a lot of fun. For all those reasons, I encourage you to step forward now on the Sports Betting Whales 365 journey. I've won many millions of dollars from betting on sports over the years, and I wanted to help you finally wrestle your sportsbook into submission and jumpstart your own money-creating business through sports. You have the opportunity today to turn over a whole new leaf. As the Chinese proverb says, you can start a new path. The path you're on, if you're already making a lot of money and things are going great, then you don't need me. But if you're not, please journey with me in the Sports Betting Whale 365 Premium Membership, and you will begin bursting out as if you've been shot out from a cannon to begin your grand ascent to unlocking the winning potential you always knew was there, but you haven't experienced it yet. These are the same strategies and picks I've used for 30 years to amass tens of millions of dollars winning in sports. The Sports Betting Whale 365 will have you jumpstart your grand ambitions for a winning track record of success. You'll start finally calling your own shots in life financially. You'll get up and begin chasing your dreams with a fire and a passion today. But those who succeed know that to win, you must first begin. All major journeys start with the first step. It's now for you to take action. For that, only that action can allow you to create, grow, connect, contribute, and rise to your highest financial self. Today is your unique opportunity to lock in access to 365 days of my picks for just a one-time payment of $49 and see for yourself what kind of rewards and winning results can come your way by following along with one of the biggest and winningest sports bettors ever. So if you've had it up to your back teeth following other so-called gurus with betting strategies still stuck in the dark ages, then come join forces with me. I've successfully bearded the lion in its own den. Now let me help you share in my success. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, as I always do. I'm going to be betting along with the same exact selections I share with you, often tens of thousands of dollars each day. So remember, if you're losing and I'm not giving you winning picks, then I'm losing a lot more than you are. It's got to be win-win. It's the only thing I'm interested in doing, win-win. Once you're my student, I really will care about you because you're under my wings now, and it's my role is to make you a success financially betting sports. I'm not going to leave you high and dry to pick the winners for yourself. I'm going to let you have access to my top picks with explanations every day. I'll reveal to you what they are so you can copy me on the same bets I'm taking. It may just be the smartest way for you to finally win the fortunes you've dreamed of betting on sports. Now, for any reason you're still skeptical, don't worry, I've got you covered. I've done everything I could possible to make this investment almost literally a no-brainer for you. But I get it, some of you may still have some doubts. Sometimes there's just that jittery feeling at the pit of your stomach you can't get past, no matter how sweet the bargain really is. Maybe you might think that my offer to send you picks for a whole year for just $49 sounds too good to be true. Perhaps you've been once bitten and now you're twice shy. For whatever the reason is that makes you a little skeptical, don't worry, I've got your back. So hear this out. I'm going to take the risk of this purchase for you. Lock in your premium access today, and I'm going to cover you with my whale of a guarantee 100% protection. Here's how it works. If for any reason, or even if for no reason at all, you're not happy with the Sports Betting Whales 365 premium membership, just contact me or my staff at any time within 60 days, and I'm going to promptly refund you your entire purchase. No questions asked. Remember, this sale isn't considered final until you've had 60 full days to sample for yourself the result of my picks. If for any reason, or even for no reason at all, you just decide that my 365 premium program is not right for you, just contact me and I'll give you a full refund of your purchase. All of it. My personally signed copy of the autobiography of the Sports Betting Whale is yours to keep for free, just for giving my program a try. So how's that for taking the risk out of your hands? Now there's really no excuse left, no possible reasons left to be skeptical. I'm taking the risk of the purchase for you because quite frankly, I can afford it. I don't need your money. Unlike other typical touts who rely on selling memberships to make money, I rely on betting on my own picks to make my money. I often bet hundreds of thousands of dollars every single week, so you can probably tell $49 isn't going to make any difference in my life. My main mission with the Whales 365 premium membership is to help you win and share in my success. So let me take the risk of the purchase away from you and put it on me. Give this membership a try today, risk-free, and you can start winning together with me for the next whole year. And I'm one of the most profitable sports bettors ever. I can tell you personally, Even when I win big, it's even a better feeling to know a lot of people won with me. That's really exciting for me. Join now so you can be part of that winning group. Now it's time for you to make a choice. You're at the fork of the road. You can turn away now and walk back, and definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing and expect different results. So I don't want you to do that. I want to see you make a change that will better your future. How much longer can you afford to keep running on instinct and pushing your luck while getting no results? It's only a matter of time before you realize you can only do so much on your own, really like a horse tied to an open stall. So I'd hate to see you keep on climbing the hill on your own and going through what's probably just a never-ending rat race. The problem with the rat race is that even if you win, you're still a rat. Wouldn't it be better for you to finally hop on the tail of a real-life whale? Over my years, I've won tens of millions of dollars betting on sports, not because I sat back with my thumb in my mouth. I had the cojones to take action on opportunities when I saw them. In sports, in stocks, investments, in businesses, in real estate, whatever. You got to strike when the iron is hot. Today, I invite you to stop thinking about what could go wrong and start to imagine the brilliance that will enter your life once you start mastering the art of picking winners in sports and have the same access to my top picks of the day that I'm betting myself. The fun things you're going to see too is that there's a lot of logic behind the picks that are being made, a lot of research and back testing. So you're going to learn how to put the odds in your favor for a change. Unless you take drastic action now, your future's to be exactly like it has been in the past, with some roller coaster rides, some ups and downs, but when you get off the ride, your pocket's empty. Difference with me, you get off the ride, you won't have enough room in your pockets to put all the cash. So if you've missed the boat before and you don't want to miss it again, is this an opportunity you can really afford to let slip right through your fingers? So make your choice now. One path leads you to an isolated island as silent as outer space to figure it all out on your own. And a pack of wolves coming at you to try to sell you something. Or you can cross the gates of the Sports Betting Whale 365 Premium membership today, and let me show you what rewards will come your way when you tail one of the biggest betting winners of all time. So yeah, let me shoulder all the nitty-gritty while you enjoy the glory. Join hands with me today and let's prosper together. Plus, your purchase today also comes with a free VIP upgrade and a free signed copy of my book that's selling on Amazon right now for $24.95. The Autobiography of the Sports Betting Whale, How I Won Over $30 million from Betting on Sports. I'll pay for the shipping too. I want you to read about my story so you can see what's possible for you as well. Remember, your purchase is fully protected under my Whale of a Guarantee 100% protection. If for any reason, or even no reason at all, you decide that my 365 Premium membership is not right for you, just let me know and I'll give you your money back right away. My personally signed copy of the Autobiography of the Sports Betting Whale, How I Won Over $30 million from Betting on Sports, is yours to keep for free, just for giving my program a try. So let's go ahead and sign up now, and let's jump on this beautiful path together and make a lot of money going forward and learning not only what picks to take, but why and how to bet them. So right now, there's only one thing left for you to do. Click the button below, and let's get you started on the right path and see how much your life can change once you start tailing one of the biggest sports betting handicappers ever. I look forward to the opportunity of getting to know you personally, to reveal to you all of my strategies, and to give you my winning picks that can change your life. I really look forward to hearing your success story. I've won tens of millions of dollars from betting on sports over the years. Now it's my great pleasure and mission to help you share into the joy and thrill of winning with me. Secure your access by clicking on the link you see right below. And let's join hands, become a team, and win together using this guaranteed offer that I'm giving to you right now. I'll see you inside. Hi, it's the Whale here again. I thought you might have some questions about my program, so here I am. Let me address the 3 most common questions that I frequently get asked about the Whale Sports Betting University. Question 1. How much money can I make with your program? The truth is, the sky's the limit. Sure was with me. But remember, sports can be unpredictable. No one 100% read the exact future when it comes to betting. Know that when betting on sports, you also have to be prepared for the possibility of loss. It does happen. I've actually so many losing days I can't even remember. But the winning days exceed the losing days over time. Let me stress, a bit of extra cash on the side is probably your most realistic goal in the beginning if you don't have a large bankroll to start with. Then as you scale, you can ramp up your action and roll it up from there. I love working off house money. When I get hot, you'll see just how quickly your bankroll can erupt into a huge amount comparatively to what you started with in a really short period of time. This system allows that. I've never seen a system that allows that before. What you need is the patience and discipline to ride out the waves until I get on one of my ridiculously patented hot streaks. Question number 2. Are you for real? I get that a lot, and I don't blame you. I'm in the shadows as I talk to you, so instinctively, you might question whether I really am who I say I am. I get it. Here's your answer to set the record straight. Yes, I am real. I'm not some actor inside a studio. I'm the one that's betting. I'm the one that's literally won tens of millions of dollars from betting on sports. And I have proof of some of my betting tickets to back it up. Take a look here on the screen to see for yourself some of my betting tickets that have netted me hundreds of thousands of dollars off one ticket. And here's an actual article from the respected Las Vegas Review-Journal documenting the tail end of one of my historic winning streaks where I started out with 500 in cash and turned it into 630,000 within hours. I'd later go on to turn that into millions of dollars within a week. The whole story is fully documented in my book, The Autobiography of the Sports Betting Whale. Remember, I'm going to ship to you a personally signed copy of this book for free with your purchase of the Sports Betting Whale 365 Premium membership. Other people are paying $24.95 on Amazon just to get a digital copy. You'll get a physical copy with my personal signature on it mailed out to you, all for free. I'll also pay for the shipping. Question number 3. I've bought picks before from other sports handicappers, and I lost money. How are you any different? Here are the reasons how I'm different than anyone else you may have dealt with before. Reason 1. You've seen proof of my past success. Don't base your decision to buy picks from whoever that can scream the loudest or pound the table the hardest. Base your decision on what matters most. Who has the most impressive winning track record? I've won over $30 million from betting on sports, making me one of the most profitable sports bettors ever. You've seen actual proof of my past successes in some of my winning tickets that have been paid out over $500,000. Think about this too. I started these huge winning streaks, million-dollar winning streaks, off small amounts of money. So if you're sitting here thinking, well, you probably started with hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, and so it's easier to win big money when you have big money. I started out with hundreds of dollars and ended up with millions. You can too. I'll show you how. I've done it before. I'll continue to do it. Reason 2, you've seen proof of my recent success. My success isn't just limited to the past. Recently, you've seen it for yourself where I won over $150,000 from betting on sports. Every single pick, ticket, and result is fully documented for you at the Whale Tracker. Back in the 90s, when I was allowed to bet $20,000 per parlay versus typically now $1,000, this $150,000 run would have easily been $3 million. Reason number 3, I put millions of my own money where my mouth is. Here's where I stand far apart from the typical touts out to make money from selling picks. I made my millions not from selling my picks, but from betting on my picks. To this day, I continue to go out and bet up to millions of dollars each month on my own picks. While other typical touts spend much of their time sitting back and telling you that they can win, I actually go out and bet hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money every week on my picks to show you that I actually win. I stand to lose millions of dollars if I don't win and I don't help you win. Reason number 4, frankly, I don't need your money. Let's face it. If I can afford to bet hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars each month, then I don't need your money to survive or to live a prosperous life. I'm doing this because I truly want to help you share in this success. I'm not in this business for the same reason that other typical touts are in business for. This is important to consider because when someone relies on selling picks to make money, then he or she may not be completely honest with you. That's why you need to be careful about touts. They rely on selling picks to make money, so they may say whatever it takes to get you to hand over your wallet. I obviously don't need your money, and I have no reason at all to be anything but 100% honest with you. Reason number 5, your purchase is fully covered by a 60-day money-back guarantee. So if for any reason you're not happy or you're not winning, then just simply ask for your money back. My personally signed book, The Autobiography of the Sports Betting Whale, is still yours to keep for free, just for giving my 365 program a try. You have no risks to take with this purchase, so what's there to lose to give this 365 premium membership a try today? And see for yourself what it's like to learn from and tail one of the most successful sports bettors ever. So there you have it. I encourage you to finally take your first step forward right now toward what could become a path that changes your financial life forever. If you don't, then there's a good chance you're going to look back a few months or a year from now and wonder what could have been had you just given my program a risk-free 60-day test drive to see what kinds of results one of the biggest and winningest professional sports bettors ever can deliver to you. I'd hate to see you sit on the sidelines as I go on one of my monster hot streaks or multiple monster hot streaks. So make sure that you click on the button below to get started. Join the Sports Betting Whales 365 premium membership today and become part of my new breed of sports betting wealth profiteers. You'll gain access to my picks for the next 365 days for a one-time payment of just $49. I'll also give you a free VIP upgrade and send you a signed physical copy of my famous book, The Autobiography of the Sports Betting Whale, How I Won Over $30 million from Betting on Sports, all for free, shipping included. On top of it all, your purchase is fully covered by my Whale of a Guarantee 100% protection. You have any time within 60 days to decide if my 365 program is right for you, or just ask for your money back and I'll fully refund your entire purchase, no questions asked. My book is yours to freely keep just for giving my program a risk-free try today. All you have to do is copy me and see what it's like to tail one of the biggest sports betting winners ever. I'll see you inside.